Hi everyone, welcome back to making Oledium in VBScript. Now last time we tried running this part of the program. Remember we'd put together this sub to include a particular file, in this case include the method library from the list of files that I'd put together. You remember we had a method library, what else we got, a class library and so on, and so I was trying to get this little program to go and call that file, but when I kept hitting F5 I got this, file not found, and I had to leave the video there because I'd gone through, I think fixing the syntax and bringing these declaration of the variable and setting the variable together, couldn't work it out. Well, the solution was to have a look at the method lib file, and if I just pull that one in, we can see all it was an assignment of a message box to a variable, and if I hit F5 here, there we go, that's all it does, right? It has a title of a message and the message is hello, and that's all it does. So I want to see that on the screen. Now as it happens, if I press F5 using SkyT, it won't work, but if I come over here and double click AD index, ta-da! So great, we know that works now. It's just a quirk with the SkyT software. So bingo, our design of having this AD index as a main control file. By the way, I blogged about this on my blog, saris.blogspot.co.uk, and broke down again what the individual scripts were supposed to do. So we had the idea of excuse me, AD index would be the main file where, our main control file as I'm calling it, that would control the flow of the game, and it would pull in methods, classes, background text, etc. So now we know that this works. The trick is obviously to change all of these to just include, and we'll include whatever that file is. I'll go back and correct those at some point, because now that I know I can call in proper methods, what I want to do is I'm going to actually just jump in to see if we can get some of the game flow going. So down here, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Get that up there. So down here, what I want to do first of all is prompt the player for what do you want to do. I mean, I think this will be a pretty reused question. So we'll constantly be saying, okay, you've equipped that weapon, or you've picked it up, or you've dropped it, you've done something. Okay, now what do you want to do? So we'll declare a string called player action. Keep it simple. Oops, let's not use a space. Player action, and we'll get it to have an input box. So we'll input box, and I believe this one needs parentheses. I get mixed up between this one and the message box, but we'll see. So it will be, what do you want to do? Okay, so what do you want to do? So if I now run this, hello, oh, let's get rid of that later. Okay, what do you want to do? Kill monsters. Okay, S-player action is undefined. That's interesting, because we've used option explicit up here to make sure that we declare all our variables, and what we'll do then is just add this up here. So we'll say declare all our variables. Just put that in there as a divider. Not sure that's good practice, but that's what we'll do. So our variable was S-player action. I'm going to get rid of this for a second, or comment it out. So S-player action. So we'll need to dim S-player action. Okay, so we declare that variable. Let's try running that again. What do you want to do? Eat. Okay, and that's it, because it doesn't do anything, does it? It just says fantastic. One of the things to do by action is as a test. Testing this really works because often you can get no result from what you do and you think, oh, okay, it must be okay, and it's not. So whatever. Okay, good. So that's really working. So we can get information from the user. Now I think on the input box we can put a title, so we could call it choose your action, let's say. And again, one thing I always do is just keep testing. Every time I make a change, just keep running it. Okay, choose your action. What do you want to do? Sleep. Sleep. Okay. Okay, so choose your action. So that's good. Right. On our mind map, we had a whole bunch of actions that we wanted to do. So attack, flee, rest, search, use, and equip. So now that we know we can get player action. I mean, it's a pretty simple example, so maybe we don't need this test, but it's, you know, it's always good just to make sure. What we need to do is have a case statement. A case statement allows us to look over a series of actions, a series of different inputs the user might choose to input, and then decide, well, okay, based on the input, given this happens, given this, given this, given this, then do this thing instead of something else. So let's have a look at an example of how this looks. Let's get rid of that for now. Actually, you know what? Let's not. I've got an idea. So I'm just going to add a comment here. Comment as I go. Get the player action. I suppose some of these are obvious, but always good. So what we'll do is decide what to do given a certain player action is chosen. Right, so now we have to have a case statement. So what we have to do is select a particular case on S player action. Oh god, not a type. And these case statements will end with a select. Oh, where are we going here? With an end select. Right. So we're not going to use given. We will use case. So each option that we can choose is a case. Now, what did we say? We said we would have, we'd attack. So case is always the input the user put in, right? So given that they've entered attack, then we'll call a method called, or a function I should say, called perform attack. And as it's a function, it will take that. Sorry, it will take a value in those parentheses. So we'll have another case called flee. We'll just do these two for now. So this is, remember, this is what the user has input. So if they enter the word flee, then what should we say? Player flee. Right. We'll end our select there. So currently, all we're going to allow the user to do, the player to do, I think you can put spaces like that. We'll soon find out. Is attack or flee. That's all they're going to be able to type in. So perform attack currently, of course, doesn't exist anywhere. So let's just see what the game will do. What do you want to do? Click attack. Attack. Okay, it doesn't know what perform attack is. That's fine. Now, so what we'll need to do, we should go and define those functions. So let's have a look here. Functions. We're going to put them in the method library. So let's get rid of this. And we'll have a function called perform attack. Okay. I was just having to answer a message from my lovely other half. Perform attack. Now this function obviously needs to be whatever we called it here. So perform attack. So what is it? What is performing attack? We will need, I tell you what, again, just as a habit, what I've got into the habit of doing is this, so I don't lose my way. So they've chosen to attack. So we'll declare a variable called the players, or a string called the player. Okay, get it right in a minute. Player foe. And we'll need to find out what that is. So player. So player foe. What we'll do again, we'll equal it to a input box. Input box. And we'll ask, what would you like to attack? So, what we'll do here, actually, we'll have I think these are called constants. So we'll do a VB, carriage return, line feed, and we can say choose from what? A golem, a kobold, dryad, or rat. And we'll need to close the parentheses. We'll need to close that and that. I think that will give us our message box for this one. S-player foe, input box, what would you like to attack? Right, if I put down here, perform attack, I should be able to test this. Here we are. So I just hit F5, what would you like to attack? Choose from golem, kobold, so golem. Great, and that does nothing, obviously, because it doesn't actually do anything right now. So, pretty cool. Let's have a think about how else we can build this out then.